here. Excuse me. Hope you guys have had a good day and are having a great evening right now. I'm just dropping another update in regards to Winter Storm Quinlan. Not too much has changed, but I'm just gonna give you guys I guess I would call this my final update video, because if I upload around this time tomorrow, a lot of things will be wrapped. A lot of areas will be having the storm exit their area. Also going to try to make this video shorter because I know the last video was over 30 minutes long. It's a lot to cover. So without further ado, let's get into it here. So I'm looking at the National Weather Service watch warning advisory map, and we're seeing the winter weather advisories and winter storm warnings stretching all the way from Oklahoma and Texas all the way into Maine. It was absolutely crazy. It just shows how far-reaching this storm actually is. And up here in the pink, we have our winter storm warnings reaching as far south as northern Alabama. But one other thing that you should take note of are these light brown advisories right here. The swath that stretches up into the northeast as well. These are wind advisories. Brought this up in the video yesterday, but this storm is packing a lot of wind energy. That lower level jet was screaming, at times showing winds of about 100 knots. So some of that wind will be getting down to the surface. So these wind advisories are basically saying that you can expect gusts of up to at least 35 miles an hour, maybe a little bit more. Anything around 50 miles an hour is actually what's called a high wind warning. From the looks of it, I don't really see any of that here. Wait, actually, might have spoken too soon. Nah. That's over towards the west coast, the western half of the country, where things are a little bit quiet at the moment. But anyway, mainly here to talk about Winter Storm Quinlan. Not that I don't love the western half of the country, but I'm trying not to overwhelm myself. But anyway, let's get into these short range models here. Not too much has changed with the GFS and the Euro models. Those are longer range models, so we're going to take a look at the HRRR. The HRRR model is a forecast model that's very reliable but has very short range. It only goes out about 18 hours, so I'll put it to you like this. Whenever you see me putting this model on my screen, that's when you know it's game time. That's when you know things are about to happen, and soon. So without further ado, let's get into this here. So we're looking at, from the looks of it, 11 o'clock, maybe 10 o'clock Central Time. It depends on your time zone. So as we're going forward here, there's our low developing right here. And as we continue onward, out ahead of it, we're seeing a lot of thunderstorm activity around the Gulf Coast states in our enhanced risk region that we outlined yesterday. So as we continue to go forward, right at about the early morning hours, that's when things really start to pick up around areas for Mobile. That's when your line of storms comes in. And then we also need to watch out ahead of it, because that's where we have a lot of Cape energy, like in the last video. There's a little small wind maximum low level jet just north of this low pressure. So some of these storms could tap into that and start to rotate, and you can get a quick spin up. So all modes of severe weather are still possible, even outside of the enhanced risk, slight risk, even the marginal. So the best thing you can do is to stay weather aware, especially with these storms being late at night. If you have something like a NOAA weather radio, or if you're getting like EAS alerts on your phone, it'll be crucial to you tonight. So please, if you can, just keep your phone on ring. I know it's annoying, but that info could save your life in an event like this. Excuse me. So as we move further and further along, we're seeing the low really start to develop here, dropping down to 10:02. millibars, and we're watching this actually move a little bit further south than the last forecast. This is going to be crucial in seeing which areas end up getting snow, and heavy snow at that. It's a very moisture-rich environment around here, so there could be some heavy snow as far south as maybe even Atlanta. Like, confidence has been growing that this may end up touching the northern suburbs. Not much has changed in regards to the Northeast and the Ohio Valley, Tennessee Valley, Appalachian foothills. We're still going to get a nice little heavy band of snow. So as we move along here, this low really starts to strengthen, and we're watching this thing move up the coast. And beyond that, we're seeing I'm seeing like a little bit higher snowfall totals for the East Coast in general, once you get past the Delmarva in particular. So areas like New York, definitely keep an eye out. It's nothing that you haven't seen before, but if you have plans, just bear that in mind. You might have some snow to deal with. You might be battling against it for a little bit. So, this is the end of the HRRR. We're at the 18-hour mark, so now we will move to the NAM 3 kilometer and just try to keep moving forward here. And we're picking up right where we left off. So this continues onward through the northeast. Southern Maine kind of looks like it gets stiffed on this model, but no, you still end up getting a little something. So this low ends up dying out around you guys, and then by about early Sunday morning or late Sunday morning into early Sunday afternoon, a lot of this is gone. You might get a little bit of additional snow flurries from this system here late Sunday around the Great Lakes regions. Beyond that, that's really all we're going to have here in regards to Winter Storm Quinlan. So I'm going to go back to the National Weather Service page because I forgot to mention it here. We also have a day 2 risk assessment here. In fact, that day 2 risk assessment has gone to an enhanced risk as well. This risk is actually going to be for the coastal Carolinas and into the southern tip of the the southern tip of the Virginia coast. We look at the categorical outlook. It's a 5% chance of tornadoes, and the reason why we have the enhanced risk is the 30% chance of straight line winds. So based off what we saw in the HRRR, what's most likely is going to happen is we're going to have that line of thunderstorms that formed up right around here in the Gulf Coast states, just a little bit east of Mobile and Dothan. And it's going to push onward. It's going to push onward to the east, and as it's exiting, you guys are going to get a good piece of it. But beyond that, really, there's not really too much to worry about. Damaging wind is definitely going to be the highest threat. Don't rule out a spin up. Hail threat is relatively minimal. You're going to kind of be, you might have something a little bit further to the south, but just like I had shown you guys the lapse rate yesterday, by Saturday we lose a lot of that. So just take all that with a grain of salt. Stay weather aware. Your threat outline looks to be more towards the afternoon. But anyway, we're going to move on to the snowfall totals. We're going to see just who has what, and we're going to go for it, and we're going to go from there, and that'll be the end of the video. So, from what I see here, this is the Euro. It's about 54 hours out. It's about 6 o'clock Sunday. Pretty much all the snow in the areas that we've been talking about will have fallen already. So, based off the Euro, we're seeing about maybe 2 to 4 inches in some spots around Oklahoma, Texas, you don't really get too much. And then as we start to move further towards the east, things really start to pick up. You're starting to get a little bit more towards the 2 to 3 inch mark around areas like Memphis and Nashville. You start to get around the 4, maybe even 6 inch mark. And then here's a spot where I'm really interested in, mainly because I live in Atlanta. Actually, there's a chance that we could get about there's a chance based off the Euro where we could get about an inch of snow possibly. It's very interesting. We are also in the northern suburbs are under a winter weather advisory as well. Ours is slotted to start from 4 a.m. onward. It'll be interesting to see if this holds true or not. I'm not very sure. I know the temperatures are going to be cooling rapidly. I do know the surface temperatures are pretty high, so it's gonna take a really heavy snow band, in my opinion, in order for us to get any sort of real accumulation. So I'm gonna move further along. We're gonna look at the Canadian model here, and this kind of has Atlanta being stiffed. Not too much different from the Euro model. And I forgot to mention, even on the Euro model, not much really changes for the Northeast. It's pretty much agreed upon that right around the Ohio Valley, Tennessee Valley, you guys are going to see about 6 to 8. Some places even getting up to about a foot. The real winners as far as heavy snow is concerned are going to be the guys north of the border, northeast of the border in Canada. I don't cover that area, obviously, and I'm not really familiar with the area, so I'm not going to try to call any sort of cities here. So this, according to the Canadian model, it's pretty much in line with the Euro model, excuse me. So look at the GFS. GFS has a little something interesting here. There's a little pocket here where they're thinking that a really heavy snow band comes in right around the northwest corner of Georgia towards areas like Rome, where you could see maybe even about 6 inch, where we could see maybe even up to about 6, maybe even 8 to 10 inches, maybe even a pocket of about a foot in some areas. Eastern Tennessee definitely is going to get walloped, and then of course, like I said, not really much changes in regards to the Northeast and the Ohio Valley. I do notice that actually it kind of has a little bit more of a bias to the west. But beyond, especially in the Ohio Valley, but beyond that, really, I don't see too much different here. Look at the shorter range models like the HRRR. Oops, wrong button. Hold on a second here. There we go. Oh, wow. HRRR kind of disappeared on me here. But, oh no. Things acting up on me. So we're going to get out of that. We're going to go to the NAM 3 kilometer. Had the HRRR up here a second ago, and now it's gone. It's kind of weird. The NAM 3 kilometer really hasn't changed too much from yesterday at all. It's consistent with there being a little bit more snow in Arkansas, not very much for Oklahoma and Texas, and Atlanta on this one gets stiffed. I do kind of want to see snow because we've been getting stiffed a lot this season, so I don't want to see a lot, just a little bit. But beyond that, nothing's really changed from last night on this model. And I see, if anything, a slight bias to the east. Given areas like New York City, Philadelphia, maybe even the Delmarva gets a little bit more love in regards to snow. But all in all, the result seems to look the same. A lot of areas in the Northeast, this looks like a very I can't even speak right now. It seems like a very strong snowstorm. very good, very fruitful snowstorm, I should say. I think that's what I was trying to say before, but I kind of had a brain fart there, so go easy on me for that. But yeah, over towards the south here, the NAM 3 kilometer isn't really given a lot of love here. It's, like I said yesterday, I really see this being a nowcast situation. So we're just going to all have to wait and see. I'm kind of looking forward to it just to see what happens. Just want to reiterate one more time, any of you guys that are under severe weather, especially if you're in an enhanced risk, just stay weather aware, especially you guys down here in the Gulf Coast, near Florida, and Biloxi, Mississippi, and Mobile, Alabama in particular. These storms are going to be coming in the overnight hours, and you're most likely to be sleeping. So please have a way to be woken up if a tornado warning, severe thunderstorm warning gets issued. But that's all I have for you guys today. This has been Ty, your Metalhead Weatherman. Have a good night and stay metal.